Hello, hello. Thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Virginia. I'm the creator here at Unique Boutique. I crochet things. And today's video, I want to share with you an absolutely adorable baby blanket that I just recently finished. So here it is. I wanted you to see the corner details and the border, the delicate little puff stitches. It is made with a very super soft yarn. It's very thin. It is the Baby Bee Soft and Snuggly yarn. It is like a velvet yarn. I guess some people would call it a Chanel yarn. It's quite thin and delicate. It is a variegated yarn. This one I chose was Rainbow Bloom, and I purchased this yarn at Hobby Lobby. It is a smaller size skein, as you can see, but since it's so thin, it does go a long way. I think my blanket, I may have used 2 skeins or not quite 2 skeins. Because I made my blanket a little bit smaller. I wanted it to be like, this is half of it. If I unrolled the whole thing, you're not really going to be able to see it too well, but I wanted it to be more of like a stroller blanket or a little blanket that you could use in a car seat or something like that. So I made mine a little bit smaller. Now, I did not purchase a pattern for this. I did use a free YouTube tutorial, and it is called the Braided Puff Blanket, and it is by Loops and Knots Crochet. Before starting this video, I did go and look to see if she does have an Etsy shop, which I couldn't find anything under Etsy. But if you go to her YouTube channel and you watch the free tutorial, it's a good tutorial. I believe she does speak and tell you what she is doing, but it's also very clearly written across the top of the screen, and it's not fast. I hate it when people do the tutorials and they put the writing up there, you know, round 1, blah, 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 blah. And then it's only up for like 30 seconds and it's gone, and you have to keep like pausing the video and going back to try to catch it. She leaves the direction for that row up the entire time she's doing a row, so it is there for you. It's great. However, I do think possibly a purchased version might be a little bit better. She does have a website that you can go to from her YouTube channel. And the pattern for this, when I looked it up, was $5.50. So it's well worth that. So let's see. What did I do different? Besides the size difference, I made mine a little bit smaller. I do believe that I just love this blanket. I love the intricate, delicate design. Isn't it beautiful? There is a fine texture to it. It's not overpowering. It's so delicate, so soft. Yeah. So, getting back to the pattern. So, I do believe that I did skip at least one of the rows towards the end. After you complete one of the patterns, each pattern will have 1 row of the puff stitches in it. And then when you get to the end of that pattern, I guess, and you go to repeat, I believe I cut out row number 8, which was another set of 99 single crochet stitches. I believe I did cut that one out. Because if I didn't cut that out, there is a right side and a wrong side to this blanket. And I think when I tried it, so maybe I messed something up writing the pattern down, But if I took that extra row out, then everything was on one side, where if I was doing it, it was flipping back and forth. So that was one change that I made. Don't know if it was just user error. And then here's a quick tip. So you start out with a chain 100, and then naturally you skip the first chain, and so you've got 99 stitches across. If you're like me, you're crocheting while you're watching TV, you're watching a movie, your family's in the room with you, they're talking, they're asking you questions. I cannot count 99 stitches and keep my count every single row. It just doesn't happen. So in the beginning, I really wasn't paying too much attention to my count, and I got maybe that far into the pattern, and I noticed one end of my blanket was all wavy because I was either adding stitches, skipping stitches, dropping stitches, whatever. So I finally decided, and what worked for me, so I'm just suggesting it, maybe it'll work for you as well, is that every 25 stitches across, I put a stitch marker in so that I only needed to count to 25. So if I lost count watching the television, or I had to do something around the house, I could easily come back and say, okay, I only have to count 25 from my very last stitch marker. And that worked perfectly for me. I didn't have any more issues throughout the rest of the blanket. My edges were nice and straight, and it was great. So because I did mess up a bit of this blanket, and I didn't want to go back and just rip out all my stitches, I decided that when I did the border, I could make it up. Now, I would think that non-crocheters would probably never notice it. And honestly, myself, if I do sit down and look at it, if I'm not really looking for it, I don't notice my corrections either. But on my border, you do 3 rounds of just a single crochet. So in my first round, where I had those waves, instead of doing a single crochet, I did a half double crochet to try to take up a little of that space. And in some more of my severe spots where it was really a big divot, I did have to go through in my second round and also do half double crochets to fill those digits to try to make the edge as straight as possible. But that was a big time saver. Like I said, I don't think people are going to notice it. If I do sell this blanket, I may sell it at a reduced price because I know it's not perfect. Also, another tip, because I didn't follow the pattern 100% and I stopped short, when I did my border, I probably wasn't doing my border when she expected you to do it. So I did my first couple of rounds of border, and then I realized that I was working on the wrong side of my blanket. So that is something to notice when you go to do your blanket. Make sure you are working your border on the correct side of the blanket, the right side, not the wrong side. So my 3 rows of single crochet are the wrong side. It should have looked like that on this side, but that is the back side of the crochet. Again, non-crocheters are not going to notice it. It's not really a big deal, but because I know, I notice it. And then at the end, I corrected it when I went to do the shells on the end. I flipped my work and I went back the other direction. So my shells are facing the correct direction. Now also, because I didn't follow the pattern exactly and I made my blanket a little bit shorter, I didn't have the right number of stitches along my sides. I didn't have the same number on the sides as I did across the top and the bottom. So my corners weren't going to line up. So in the pattern, I mean, you can kind of see it a little here. If I pull it out, it's not as noticeable. But in the pattern, they wanted it kind of like this, so that your shells started on either side of the corner. That wasn't going to work for me because I didn't have the right number of stitches. So as a little cheat, I decided, like this corner is a little bit better. I decided as a cheat, when I got close to my end with my last shell, instead of starting another shell and trying to make it go to the corner, I did 2 or 3 single crochet stitches through here, and then I put a shell in the corner. And then on the other side, I did the same thing. I did 2 or 3 little single crochets in from the corner and started my first shell. So you can kind of cheat in the corners. Some of my corners will have 2 or 3 single crochets. Some of the corners might even have 4 single crochets. Like this one, I think you can kind of notice a little bit because I'm pointing it out. There's more single crochets on this side than there are on this side. However, it's not really that noticeable. So that is a way to be able to fudge your corners and still make them look nice. I mean, is that a cheat? Is that a hack? I don't know. I came up with it, figured I would share it with somebody else in case you're struggling with doing corners. Give it a try. It worked great for me, and I'm sure it'll work just as well for you. So thank you for watching. I do absolutely love this little blanket. If I decide to bring this blanket to market, it's going to be my very first baby blanket that I have ever brought to market. I'm thinking of possibly doing a matching little baby bear hat or something to go with it. We'll see what happens. I do have some spare yarn left over because I bought 4 skeins of it, because I do believe the pattern did call for 4. But like I said, I made my blanket smaller. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you did like my tips, please make sure you like and subscribe. I'm really excited every time I get a like on my video. I don't get thousands of likes, so every little like that I get totally makes me excited. It makes my day. So thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.